multiplying fractions is what we're going to look at in this video. It's split into 5 parts. So we're going to start off by looking at simple examples like this. And then we're going to move on to looking at, well, how do you multiply a whole number by a fraction? And then what do you do with the squared sign? And then look at slightly hard numbers where we can cancel down to make our life easier. And then finally look at mixed fractions. So the way my videos work, I'm going to do the example on the left, which is I do. You are then going to press pause and have got the example on the right, which is you do. So looking at this first example here, we have got 2/5 times 3/7. So all we're going to do is multiply the 2 by the 3. So 2 times 3 is 6, and multiply the 5 by the 7, which is 35. Now, can this be simplified? No, it can't. So that's our answer there. That's all we're doing. So hopefully you've pressed pause and had a got the example on the right. So you're multiplying 3 times 1, so multiply straight across, and 5 times 2, which is 10. Can this be simplified? No, so that's our answer there. Now moving on to looking at whole numbers and fractions. Now with whole numbers, you can just treat it as 4/1. So now it's the same thing. So it's 4 times 3, which is 12, and 1 times 7, which is 7. Okay, that's your answer. And in this case, it's a improper fraction, and we can leave it as that. And for the one on the right, again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go. You can just imagine there's a 1 underneath it. So that'll just be 7 times 4, which is 21, and then 1 times 5, which is 5. And that's your answer there. And then looking at the squared case, and with a squared, it just means whatever you have, just multiply it by itself. So that just becomes 1 times 1, which is 1, and 4 times 4, which is 16. So again, on the right, we have a squared, so that just means 2/3 times by itself. That becomes 4/9. So here's some practice questions for you to have a go at. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. So moving on, we're now looking at slightly harder numbers where we can make our life easier by simplifying first. Now, one way of doing this is just multiplying straight across, which gives you 36/180. And then you can then simplify that. But you ideally don't want to be going down this route because you can half that, and that's 18, and half that, and that's 90. And, again, you can half and half this again, because that then becomes a 9, that becomes a 45. So, and then you can spot the fact that, they both go into the 9 times table, because 9 times 5 is 45, so that'll be 1/5. Now, that's one way of doing it, but another way of doing this would be, if I just write that down here again, 2/9 times 18/20. Now you can cancel any top number with any bottom number. So I can see that this fraction can be simplified. That's one way of doing it. Or you can simplify the 18 with 20 or the 18 with 9. And now you can see, if I use a different color, now 9 times 1, 9 divided by 9 is 1, and 9 divided by 18 is 2. That's already simplified. Now we can simplify it even further, because I can see the 2 and the 20. So that I can divide that by 2, and I can divide that by 2, and I can simplify that further because I can now look at the 2 and the 10, and they can be simplified. So that can become, if I use my pen again, that can become 1. They both divide into 2, and finally that gives me 1 times 1, which is 1, and at the bottom it gives me 1 times 5, which is 5. And you can see I've gotten to the exact same answer, but I've made my life a lot easier by cancelling down. So again, on the right, now there's different ways you can cancel down, but the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to look at the 2 and the 14. So I can divide this by 2, that's 1, divide this by 2, that's 7. Now I'm going to look at the 7 and the 7, so that's this and this. I can divide them both by 7, so that becomes 1, that becomes 1. And finally, I've got 1 times 1 at the top, and I've got 1 times 10 at the bottom, and that's that there. So here's some practice questions for you to have a go at. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. And now moving on to looking at mixed fractions. Now with mixed fractions, you first want to turn it into an improper fraction. So in this case, with this one, that would be 1 times 3. So we're going to multiply this, and we're going to add that. So 1 times 3 is 3, add 2 is 5. The denominator stays the same. Okay, so just to recap that, what I've done here is I've done 1 times 3. That gave me 3. I added 2. So that was 1 times 3, add 2. That gave me 5. That's where the 5 came from. And the 3 just stays the same. Okay, we just copy that here. So now it's the same as what we've already done. Again, if you look at this, you can cancel down to make your life easier. So if I cancel this down, that can divide by 3, that can divide by 3, and that gives me an answer of 5/4. And it does say give your answer as a mixed fraction in its simplest form. So because you've got an improper fraction, we can use the bus stop method on this. So actually 5 goes into 4. 1 times it leaves your remainder of 1. So the answer here would just be 1/4. Okay, and again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at the example on the right. So the first thing is to write this as a improper fraction. So that would be 4 times 3, which is 12. Add the 3, which is 15 over 4, times 8 over 9. Again, looking at this, I can simplify it to make my life easier. Divide that by 4, divide that by 4. So that then gives me 30 over 9. Now the question does say leave your answer as a mixed fraction, so if I use the bus stop method again. So 30 into that, so that'll be 9, 18, 27, which is 3, and that'll leave me with the remainder of 3. So at the bottom, we have the same. In fact, I could have simplified this. I've just spotted 30 over 9 can be simplified to, they both go in the 3 times table, so that'll be 3 and 10. Okay, so we can do that again. So 3 here, 10 here, so 3, that gives you a remainder of 1. So that becomes 3 there, 3 there, and a 1 there. There we go. And that is your answer there. And here's some questions you had to go at. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers, mark your work. And if you would like more practice on this, I've got a full worksheet on this over on my website with the answers. I'll link it in the comments below. And if you did enjoy this video, I've got loads of other content like this on my channel. Do check it out. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.